Hello everyone, I am Deep Patel from the Department of Mechanical Engineering. As you all know, we were discussing about the chapter number 13, that is the important engineering material. And in our last lecture, we have discussed about the classification of engineering material, and then we have discussed about the some properties of the engineering material. Okay, today in this lecture we will discuss about the ferrous materials and the non-ferrous material. Okay, so let us start with the ferrous material. So we can say that the raw material for all the ferrous metals are pig iron. Generally, the pig iron can be obtained by the smelting process which is occurs in the blast furnace with the help of coke and the limestone. Okay, and the commonly used ferrous metals are wrought iron. Okay, so first of all, let us discuss what is the wrought iron, what are the type of carbon which is available in the wrought iron, and what are the properties of the wrought iron. Okay, so we can say that the wrought iron is highly refined iron with a small amount of the slag. Generally, it is forged into the fibers and contains 99% of the iron. The property of the wrought iron is that it is very tough, malleable and the ductile. Generally, the bolts, nuts, chains, crank hooks, railway couplings are the main forms which are available from the wrought iron. Okay, so we can make all this product with the help of the wrought iron. Okay, now second type of the ferrous metal is the steel. Okay, so we can say that steel is the alloy of carbon and iron with the carbon content usually vary between the range of 0.08 to 1.5 percentage. Okay, steel generally contains small amount of the sulfur, silicon and the manganese instead of carbon. So steel are generally contain small amount of the sulfur, silicon, manganese etc. Okay, the carbon steels can be classified into the three types. First is the low carbon steel, second is the medium carbon steel, and third is the high carbon steel. So according to the carbon percentage, we can say that the type of steel is vary. When the carbon percentage is about 0.15 to 0.3%, then it is known as the low carbon steel. And generally, this type of the low carbon steel is used for the steel structure for building bridge, ship, etc. Okay, next is the medium carbon steel. So the carbon percentage in the medium carbon steel is 0.3 to 0.6, and generally this medium carbon steel is used for manufacturing of the connecting rod, crank hooks and the railway wheels. Okay, now our third type of the steel is the high carbon steel. So the carbon percentage in the high carbon steel is 0.6 to 1.5, and generally it is used for manufacturing of the die, shoes, cutting tools and the piston ring. Okay, so this is what all about the three types of steel. Okay, next is the alloy steel. Now what is the meaning of alloy steel? When we add some alloying elements into the steel, then it becomes the alloy steel. Generally, the alloy steel having the high strength, like the high tensile strength, high compressive strength. Okay, so to increase the strength of the steel, we put some alloying element into the steel, then it becomes the alloy steel. Okay, so we can say that in the alloy steel, the elements which are other than the carbon is added in the sufficient amount to produce improvement in its properties. Okay, the alloy steel can give better strength, ductility and the toughness than the plain carbon steel. Okay, so to increase the toughness, ductility and the strength, we add some alloying element into the steel, that is known as the alloy steel. Okay, now commonly added elements are the nickel, chromium, silicon, manganese, tungsten, cobalt, etc. The main types of the alloy steel which is used in the practice are the stainless steel, second is the heat resistant steel, third is the high speed steel, fourth is the spring steel. Okay, so these are the main four steels which we generally use in our practical applications. Okay, we know the stainless steel is the most common steel which are used in our daily life. Okay, the second is the high speed steel. Generally this high speed steel is used for making the tools or the cutting tools which are using in the industries. Okay, so these are the common steel which we use in our practical applications. Okay. Now, next type of the ferrous material is the cast iron. Okay, so generally the carbon percentage in the cast iron is vary between the 2% to 4.3 percentage. Okay, and the various types of the cast iron are as follow. Our first type of the cast iron is the grey cast iron. So we can say that in the grey cast iron, the carbon is present into the form of the graphite flakes. Okay, and due to the this graphite flakes, the color of the cast iron is slightly gray. Okay, so it is called the gray cast iron. Okay, this gray cast iron is widely used for the machine tools bodies like flywheels, pipes, pipe fittings, etc. Okay, now second is the white cast iron. So generally in the white cast iron the carbon is present into the cementite form, and cementite having some bright white color. Okay, generally the white cast iron having the some white color. Okay, in the grey cast iron the graphite flakes were present and the color of the graphite is slightly grey, so it is called grey cast iron. In the white cast iron the cementite is present and the color of the cementite is light white, so we can say that it is the white cast iron. Okay, and generally this white cast iron is used for manufacturing of the liners, then pump liners, also it is used for the making grinding balls. Okay, so these are the two types of the cast iron. Now, our third type of the cast iron is the malleable cast iron. Okay, so we know that the cast iron is generally very hard and brittle. Okay, so to improve its tensile strength, we do heat treatment over the white cast iron. So ultimately, the tensile strength and the malleability of the cast iron is improved. Okay, due to the heat treatment. So we can say that to improve the ductility and the malleability in the cast iron, we generally produce the malleable cast iron. So how it is produced? So it is produced by giving some amount of the heat treatment over the white cast iron at sufficient high temperature up to the 900 to 950 degrees Celsius. Then it is cooled slowly. So automatically the grain will be reformed and finally we can get the malleability. Okay, and finally we can get the malleable cast iron. Okay. So generally this type of the malleable cast iron is used in the automotive industries, and they are also used for making the hubs of the wagon wheels and parts of the agriculture machinery. Okay, so this is what all about the malleable cast iron. So in the cast iron we have discussed about the three type of cast iron. First is the grey cast iron, second is the white cast iron, third is the malleable cast iron. Okay. Now, our next topic is the non-ferrous materials. So, you can say that in the non-ferrous materials, there are metals other than the iron as a main component. Okay, and generally used the non-ferrous materials are aluminium, copper, etc. Okay, so let us talk about first aluminium and its alloy. So, what is the property of aluminium and its alloy? We can say that it is the silvery white in color and also light in weight other than the steel and the copper. Also, the aluminium is having the high thermal and the electrical conductivity. Also, it is having the high machinability and the high malleability. Okay. Also, we can make some small foils from the aluminium. Okay. Generally, the aluminium is used for making the aircraft and the making the automobile piston. Also, it is used for making the cooking components. Also, it is used for the electrical wirings. Okay, so these are the some applications of the aluminium and its alloy. Now, our second type of the important non-ferrous material, it's a copper. So we will discuss about the copper and its alloy. So first, let us understand some important properties of the copper. So we know that the copper is having the high ductility. Okay, also it is having the high thermal conductivity and high electrical conductivity. Okay, so we can say that the copper is soft, malleable, ductile material with a reddish brown in the appearance. Okay, and it is good conductor of the heat and the electricity. Now the main alloys of the copper are brass and bronze. Okay, so first of all let us discuss about the brass. So what is the brass? Brass is a alloy of the copper when the copper is mixed with the zinc. Okay, and generally the brass is used in the hydraulic fittings, pump linings, and the making the bearings. Okay, second is the bronze. So bronze is the alloy of the copper and tin, and generally it resists the surface wear and can be cast into the shape and roll into the wires, road, sheets very easily. Okay, so this is the basic application of the bronze. Okay, now our third type of the important non-ferrous metal is the tin. So we can say that tin is having the brighty shiny white surface, and also it is the soft and the malleable metal. Generally the tin is used for making the soft solder. Also it is used to making the foils and the moisture proof packing material. Okay, so this is the application of the tin. Okay. Now next we will discuss about the non-metallic materials. Okay, so the first important non-metallic material is the timber. Okay, so we can say that the timber is obtained by cutting the trees after their full growth. Wood is the natural polymer composite, and generally we know that the wood is widely used for making the door windows, for the roof members, for the furniture, for the railway sleepers, sports goods, etc. Okay, so this is the application of timber. Okay, now second type of the non-metallic material is the composites. So when we want to increase the strength of the any material, then we do composite. Okay, there are many ways to improve the strength of the material, like we can do some, or we can make alloying element, also we can do some heat treatment over the material, and the third way to improve the strength of any material, that is to make the composite. Okay, so we can say that to improve the strength of any material, we are producing the composite material. Okay, so we can say that composite is the combination of more than one material which are used in combination to rectify the weakness in one material by strength of the other material. And generally the composite are the man-made or the natural. Some natural composites are also available, and some composite we are made for the improvement in its property. Okay, so we can say that the composite may be of the man-made or the naturally available. Okay, now our third type of the non-metallic material is the ceramic. Okay, so we can say that it consists of the compounds of the metallic and the non-metallic elements. The ceramic materials have greater stability at the higher temperature, and they are very brittle and less ductile. Okay, so generally the ceramics are used for the high temperature applications. Okay, also it is used for making the cutting tools. Okay, because the hardness of the ceramic is very high. So we can say that the ceramics are used in the field of the heat engine and the electronic packaging. Okay, also it is used for the gas turbine in the chemical reactor lining, or it is used for making the cutting tools. Okay, so these are some applications of the ceramics. Okay, now our next type of the non-metallic material is glass. Okay, so we can say that the glass is the simple, we can transparent product. Okay, and also we know that the glass is having the high optical properties. Okay, so we can write here, it is the transparent silica product which may be amorphous or the crystalline in nature. Depending on this amorphous and the crystalline nature is depends on the heat treatment. Generally, it is uses for the glass equipment for various uses due to its better optical property, chemical stability, non-corrosive nature, and the high temperature resistance. Okay, so due to this property, we can use in the various applications. Okay, so this is the all about glass. Now, our next type of the non-metal is the diamond. Okay, so we know that the hardness of the diamond is very high. So we can use the diamond tool for the grinding operation. Also, we can use the diamond tool for the surface finish operations. Okay, so we can say that it is the allotrope of the carbon and it is the hardest material. Okay, next, it is widely used for the drilling and other finishing operations like lapping, honing, and the super finishing. Okay, so it is used for the finishing component. Okay, this is what all about the diamond. Now, our last non-metal is the plastics. Okay, so we can say that it is usually divides into the two group. First is the thermoplastic and the second is the thermosetting plastic. Okay, now generally we know that the plastics are mostly used in the manufacturing of the automobile parts, safety glass, laminated gears and self lubricating bearings. So these are some applications of the plastic. Okay, so in this lecture, we have discussed about the metal products and the non-metals. In the metals, we have discussed about the ferrous metals and the non-ferrous metals. And then we have discussed about the non-metals. In the non-metals, we have discussed about the timber, diamond, plastic, etc. Okay, so this is all about today's lecture. Thank you for today.